Hey tribe, it's Ikenna, and today I have a very special video. I want to talk to you guys about, well, basically, you want to learn a new language and you're starting, but you really don't know where to start. That happens to most people, and I want to talk about it. I want to let you guys know what you should do for that first month of learning a new language. Before I go into the video, I want to tell you guys about a really cool website called Takelessons. They're actually sponsoring this video, which is pretty dope because it's actually my first sponsorship, but it's not the first offer that I've gotten. I've got offers by other companies before, but this is the first one that I've accepted just because I believe in the website. It's a really cool website. I personally went there and tried it out. I even met one of my viewers in the same class that I took on Takelessons, and basically it's a website where you get access to unlimited language classes, and I mean like actual language classes with like a teacher, like a native speaker, which is crazy. And I think currently they have both Spanish and French lessons on the site, so definitely check it out. But I'll talk a bit more about them later on. So yeah, you want to learn a new language, but you don't really know where to start off. You are not alone, so this is the biggest thing. Like, I mean, I think starting a language right next to actually, keeping up that motivation is probably the hardest part. So where should you start? What can you expect? Well, I'll tell you, there's usually three things that kind of mess with someone when they want to learn a new language, and that is, one, they have unrealistic expectations of how long it's going to take. They think that it's going to happen quicker than it actually will happen, and that's not the case. Really, languages, it's like a plant that you water every single day, and you can't really speed it up. So what I always say is, usually you can reach conversational fluency if you know what you're doing within 6 months to 12 months, and without studying too much every day as well. The next big thing that messes people up is that they just think languages are impossible. They've tried it in school and they're like, yeah, I learned Spanish for 7 years, but I can't even speak anything. They're so hard. They're not hard. It's not like you are in boxing class sparring and you're getting punched in the face or something like that. It's not physically challenging. Obviously, mentally, it is a bit challenging, but what is the hard part of learning a language, and look at me when I speak to you, this is very important. What is very hard is consistency, and it's with any new skill, really. It's getting up every single day and being like, okay, I have to do this. I have to be disciplined. But that is something you really need to build in with yourself. It's not really based off if you're learning a language, if you're learning how to skate, you're learning piano. It's all about discipline. So that's the hard part, not languages within themselves. And the last thing is just that people oftentimes, they just think that they don't have the time. They think, okay, I'm working, or I have 1,000 things going on. I just don't have the time to learn a new language. But that isn't true. Learning a new language often for me has happened with, let's say, 30 minutes to 60 minutes of study per day. And I skip a lot of days. I'm human, Like, there's a lot of days I'm lazy. I just don't do it. But oftentimes it's not too much. You can wake up 30 minutes earlier. You can wake up even maybe an hour earlier, or you can reprioritize things in your life to make sure everything goes well and that you have the time. Alright, so I just teleported real quick. So let's get into it. What is the first thing that you should do whenever you're trying to learn a new language is to look for beginner audio programs or textbooks or courses in that language. So every language will differ, but try to look for something structured. The next thing that I always do is I always look for some really cool music. Music has the power to inspire you. It can teach you new words, and honestly, there's a lot of languages that I probably wouldn't speak, for example, like French, that if I wasn't initially inspired by really cool musicians and artists. So definitely go searching for some new favorite artists in your target language. It will definitely help you, and it just gives you passive listening practice, which is very important for the first few months. So the next thing is you want to be watching TV shows from day one. Now, I'm not talking about watching some like CSI, in French, but if you can find, let's say dramas that, they're about love or romance or whatever, kind of easier topics where it's not too highly specified vocabulary, then that's going to really help with your listening comprehension, because not only will that help you like language-wise, but also motivate you, and it helps you kind of like be like, damn, I want to be like that character. I want to keep on learning my language. So definitely always highly recommend watching TV from day one. Now let's get back to Takelessons. When I used the website, I was like I wasn't sure like if I was gonna like it until I used it, and then it was pretty dope. So let me show you a little clip from the class I had. C'est un peu down parce que tout le monde, comment tu dis, dresses up in like orange clothes.
Donc c'est plus, ils mettent des vêtements orange.
Okay, ils mettent des vêtements orange, oui. So, I mean, you can see, like, I'm learning French, and that's crazy because there's a native speaker there, there's other people in the class. I previously told people, like, no, when you're in the first, like, few months, just keep it to yourself, you don't need to talk to anyone, just, you know, learn the language, you know, you don't have to pay for a teacher, that's way too much. But now that I see that, okay, at least with Spanish and French, which is currently the languages live on their website, you literally have access to unlimited classes and you can talk to a native speaker as much as you want. That kind of changes the game plan because now instead of keeping to yourself for the first few months, what you could do is mainly keep it to yourself. Let's say 6 out of the 7 days you are studying by yourself, you're watching a lot of TV, but that, let's say 1 day per week, you can actually go on the website, you can book a lesson, you can book a class, and you can actually be corrected by a native speaker, which it's invaluable. And it's important just to make sure that you don't go like the wrong route and make sure the accent you're learning is correct, but also just, you know, to have some smiles, see some smiles and connect with someone, definitely. But anyways guys, that's been my tips for learning a language from scratch. If you're interested in my methods for personally learning languages, you can definitely check out my book. It's called Fluency Made Easy, and it's basically my 6 years of learning languages and teaching myself languages condensed into an 80-page book, and after reading it, you'll essentially know every single thing you need to do in order to learn a language. So definitely highly recommend that. Link will be in the description below. But guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been it. Thank you again to Takelessons for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.